Ladies and gentlemen, I had to do a video over again. I forgot to hook up my mic and went to try to see if I can listen to it. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing. Hello, James here. Oh, I had to do this over again. I'm back again. Want to make a video about this area over here. So what's the deal with this area? This is the former Eastland Mall. This mall, you probably see a couple people who came through here from YouTube videos or other social media, and you come through. You know they do that travel, and probably somebody got this, and they probably took a picture. I know I was one of the people that did it. But yeah, this mall is shut down, closed down, tore down. Yeah, this is pretty much the area. There's a school on the other side of it, is an elementary school, and right now they kind of having a kind of disagreement with the city and with the owners that own the property, who trying to figure out what they're going to do with the rest of the building, because they can't tear the building down when it was a school, so they have to probably start tearing it down now before school starts up, because you don't want all that stuff, from the buildings going around and young people starting to get sick. That was a big thing about it here. It was on the news recently. What can I tell you? Yeah, it's South Hamilton Road. A lot of businesses kind of abandoned down here. There's a few restaurants down here, but it's not that much down this area. What can I tell you? Yeah, this is a story. I gotta share a story with you. I want to share a story with you. Over this area over here, it was a car lot. Oh, and this was about 5-6 years ago. So this young man owned a lot, and so he was getting cars to bring back from Obetz, which is right in that direction. And Obetz is a small town, and I mean you gotta watch your speed through Obetz. I mean the cops look out for anything over there. Even when I was working a car auction over there's a car auction, Columbus Auto Auction, and you have to they tell people don't zip through there because you're gonna get a nice ticket. Anyway, this time, this guy paid us $40, I think $40 to $20 per car, $40 for 8 hours to transport vehicles from Obetz to South Hamilton Road. Now, I deliver cars before. I deliver for Enterprise, and whenever we go to the auction, we would have to have, before we go to the auction, you had to get these dealer plates. And whether you take cars to or from any place, you have to have a dealer plates. So just in case the cop stop you, because that look kind of suspicious. You're driving with no tags and no license. That can probably cause some kind of suspicious. And a bunch of people hauling cars with no license plates will probably look pretty suspicious to law enforcement. I mean, and then on top of that, this guy wants to legally run the doggone red light just to get these cars so we can hurry up and get these cars back to over here on South Hamilton Road. And I'm like, are you serious? And if you stopped at the red light, some people try to clown you, try to get y'all out. Why did you stop? Man, I'm going to stop. I'm not going to risk myself getting a ticket just for some little $20, or $20 an hour just to drive a car from here to there. I mean, people in the city don't drive too well. You got people that just they cut out in front of you. You know, you gotta be very careful. Just like any other city, you gotta be careful. They don't drive with they can't drive with the shit. And so, you know, so yeah, he wanted me and 13 others. And all the way down here, what was really annoying is like the guy he had us drive us down to pick up the vehicles to take us back. He's half buzzing, he's half high. He's smoking weed on the way down in the car. Like, damn, man. You know, it's like 4 or 5 was in this limo type of car, and it's like, man, you know, they can't wait till you get off of work to smoke weed. I mean, you know, there's some low vibrational hood stuff. That's why I said, damn, you know, this is what I couldn't believe that. Well, 3 to 4 hours. So finally, I did that one time, and that was it. So that was my story about having cars, dealing with people on this part of the road. But yeah, this area over here have a lot of, you know, small businesses, but they're like in another plaza down in the next red light over down by the way. Oh, another story I want to tell you. They had a flea market right directly across from that area down there, and a lot of they had a raid on all the different business. They had these small, you know, they have what they call, you know, like in California, swap meets, and you have like flea markets. So they had a little flea market down there, right? And I guess, you know, U.S. Customs and other people went in there and popped all those businesses because they were selling, you know, merchandise like Gucci. You had some very hot items and stuff like that. So they kind of, I remember they busted that. I don't know if they shut it down over there or whatever, but you had all them doing that over there. These people come through the city and sell their little rings and, you know, purses and things, and, you know, things like that. Yeah, that's one thing that happened over here. Another thing that happened over here, it's just that I used to work with some people. I used to deliver some parts to some people, and when I came to Columbus, it was back in 2007. So I wasn't born and raised in Columbus. It's the only thing I know from Columbus, Ohio, from 2007 on up. So, but prior, before me coming to Columbus, they said that this area over here, that the police, they said it was so bad back in the day that some cops would have to go in teams just to go over there. And I said, really? He said, yeah. There's a couple guys who saying, yeah, it was really bad over there. I said, right over there by this area, this Eastland? He said, yeah. And so I was really, really shocked. And it was, they said it was like Gunshot Alley, you know. But I don't know if it's probably calmed down since then. But that's what the guys that told me that I work with at this, you know, getting parts and taking it to different places and stuff. And I used to take parts to customers. So that's what they were telling me. But anyway, yeah, that's interesting story. But yeah, yes, you know, it really, you know, what's really sad about areas like this, the people don't have a grocery store. Like they finally gonna get somewhat of a grocery store over there. Like it's gonna be right where Hal Hamilton meet. I think that's I can't think of that street out there. Refugee out there. Refugee in Hamilton. They're gonna finally get a little store out there. So that, because they need one down here. Because could you imagine, you live down here, if you don't have a car, you know, and you got a long way to walk to a bus just to get you some groceries, you know. So you have a lot of food deserts around Columbus too. This is like a food desert. And over there off of East Dublin Grambling Road is another food desert. They used to have a Kroger out there, food desert. All they have to do, they they have these little like stores like something like not even an Aldi's, you know, not I don't think even a Save-A-Lot. They have some other off-brand grocery store. For some reason, they closed down there. Like they closed a couple Giant Eagles here, and they got one over there by Grandview. They have another one up over, always out on the outskirts. That's what they do. But they always close the ones in the city. You know, they got one grocery store, Kroger, in downtown, near downtown. That's near the campus. But everything else, if you're on the outskirts of Columbus, an area like this, it's going. You need a car to get you to the grocery store. And like I think the nearest Save-A-Lot, only Save-A-Lot would probably be probably about 10 to 15 minutes from here. That's just the Save-A-Lot. That ain't including the Kroger. So anyway, this is the former Eastland Mall. Those of you who used to live in Columbus probably familiar with this area, but yeah, they shut it down. They closed it, so depends on what if they're gonna make it into apartments. And that's what the city is working on now, making it all apartment buildings. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe. Till next time, take care. Be blessed.